Contrast Uncut, yeah, you know that's us. Where we only speak the real and the real rock with us. Where we motivate the people and politic on success. Oh no, we ain't DJ Khaled, but they swearing we the best. Contrast Uncut, Contrast Uncut.
What's happening? It's Contrast Uncut. It's season 3, episode 38. Man, big shout outs to Uncle Snoops Army and Bobby D Presents. I appreciate you, brothers. It's your host, Zylo, aka DJ Juan Dollars, like I won some money. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we got an incredibly dope special guest. You know, he's from the Bronx, New York. He's known for being a world-class DJ, comedian, radio, television personality, and record executive. I mean, this brother's a brand ambassador. He does it all. He's been in the game for 25 years plus. And he has a portfolio that, you know, people dream of. Here's just a sample size of what this brother has done. He started off as an intern, worked his way up to clubs and tours, DJing for like Lil' Kim, Mos Def, Jay-Z, just to name a few. And then, you know, he get into the show, the biggest platform, the New York radio, to DJing, in my opinion, one of the greatest shows on Comedy Central's history, The Chappelle Show, to hosting Sucker Free, to TRL, Total Request Live on MTV, to working in management and A&R executive, to this man had a senior vice president position in a huge label. I mean, this brother's been holding it down on the stage and set with improv and contagious comedy. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, it's all good. We got all episode to chop it up with this brother. We got Cipha Sounds in the building. How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's good, man? I love intros like that because it makes me sound so spectacular.
Come on, bro. All I'm doing is doing my research and like, shit. I know he inspired me, but damn, he inspired me even more. I didn't know he was behind that. He was behind that.
Yeah,
Shit.
I did a lot of shit, man.
I mean, bro, you broke artists as like, you know, being... That's incredible. Like from all the different platforms, you were able to mold your opportunity into a way of staying and something that could stay for a while. Yeah. And it's timeless to today.
That's true.
Cipha, I gotta let you know, time's the most finite thing we have on this earth, brother. So, you know, I appreciate your time greatly coming on the show and, you know, rocking with my viewers and listeners.
Oh, let me tell you something. I don't do any of this type of shit. So thank God the world has come to a stop where I'm able to, like, hey, Cyph, what you doing today? I don't know, random podcast because I have nothing else going on in life. So you win.
Fair enough. Well, I'm still going to appreciate the shit out of it, whether it's
like,
I fall into a hole.
This is the new version of like, everybody knows me in New York for like, I'll be late to something because some kid will run up on me in the street and start asking me questions about how to make it. And I'll stop and talk, and I'll stop and give advice, and I'll stop and give real tactics. And this is the new, you know, digital virtual version of that, where you get to maybe not talk to one person, but however many want to tune in live or after it's, you know, on the internet. It's great. I love doing this.
Absolutely. So, you know, everyone watching, it's even a greater token from the game this brother distributes, because he already understands how to give out diamonds from words of gold. So, you know, this brother has it in him. And I got a quote. Let me know how it relates to you, or if it doesn't. I know you're good on talking about shit, so let's go. I will not lose, for even in defeat, there's a valuable lesson learned. So it's even up for me. Jay-Z.
What's that from? Is that a rhyme?
No, it's an inspirational quote.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. That's how I live my life. There is no loss. Like, there is no loss. Listen, we all have bad days. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit here and tell you I'm super Mr. Positive every single day, but I've learned, especially in my later years, to take every little thing and learn, what did I learn from that? What do I not do again? How can I make that better? Like, that's all I ever ask myself.
What can you do differently every time so that it's a good result?
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
feel
that's a
like
good
you're a
one.
big visionary, and you know, in order for you to be a visionary, you got to understand the values of loss and failure to understand the growth in the situation and where you overcome.
Yeah. I have a I had a problem when I was younger. I was very antisocial, introvert type of person. Even though if you look at my life, people are like, how can you get on stage for thousands of people and be introverted? I'm like, it's super easy because I did it all the time. And I always had big visions to do things, but I would get really nervous about executing. And I could go down the list of things that I should have had and should have been. But I also don't try to live my life with regret. So I just use it all as I had to use my first 10 years, 20 years in the industry as a lesson. Great. The next 20 years will be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I wish I had more money and uh more accolades, but I know the truth. I know all the things I did that led to big things in the world. You know what I mean? And that's how I know I'm on the right path.
So you're already segueing to my first question to you is, you know, did the game choose you, or did you choose the game?
So that's an interesting question because people look at the music industry as the game. I don't look at it. I look at the music industry or even the entertainment industry as part of the game, where some people look at it as the entire game. I loved music. I didn't necessarily love the music business, which caused a lot of conflict in my early career. But um, it chose, I guess it chose me because before I got into music, I was like not an act. I was very smart in school, but I wasn't active in anything. I didn't have any dreams, any goals. All I wanted to do was be a Marine. That's all I wanted to do. I used to watch Marine movies and be like, yeah, I want to be frontline in a war in a Marine. I don't know why,
Wow.
but and then when I found, like, when I really found hip hop in those formidable years, it led me. I was like, oh, okay. Like I tried to rap for a week, and I was like, okay, rapping is a God-given talent. That's what I thought. Rapping is a God-given talent with, your words and your ideas. I was like, DJing seems like something you could practice and get good at.
Mm,
And it's more technical. I can buy turntables. I can't buy lyrics. You know what I mean?
feel you.
So that was like but then also later down the line, I realized DJing is also art because I know shitty DJs. You know what I'm saying? Like I weaved my own art into it. But at the time I was thinking you can learn how to play records or learn how to scratch. It's just hours and hours of practice. So yeah, so I think the game chose me because before that I had no vision whatsoever, no idea what I was going to do with my life.
So, Sype, what would you consider your like first confirmation that you know this entertainment industry is for you? This is what you're supposed to do.
In the aspect that you're asking it, um, I interned for a college radio station. The guy DJ Riz, who was the DJ, later introduced me to Funk Master Flex. He hired me to be his intern at Hot 97. All these things are like also DJing for Little Kim. Like all these little things were like okay, Little Kim. I quit once because the money, like I was getting like 300 a week, and that's when Little Kim had no album out, just like a couple. She had like Junior Mafia songs, like Players Anthem and Get Money, a couple of R&B remixes that she was on, and freestyle. And then so we was getting 300 a week on some promo shit. Then the album came out. She blows up. She becomes what we now know as Little Kim, and she's starting to get 20, 30 G's a show, and I'm still getting 300 a week. So I was like, how come my shit didn't go up when your shit went up? So I quit. They hired another guy, and he flubbed. Like, he fucked up the shows. So they called me back within like maybe a month and a half, something like that. And I said, okay, I'll go back, but I need a raise. And then I got 300 a show. And I thought I was balling. You know what I mean? I'm 20, 21. I'm coming home with 1,500 a week. I was like, ah! But them calling me back made me realize that I had something of value, that I was doing something right, because the guy who replaced me fucked it up. You know what I mean?
Attracted wealth. And, you know, you pushed the ultimatum of, you're not going to do me wrong when you're rising. Yeah. So I need a rise. I don't need to rise as high as you are, but, you know, you got to have me come up, because this ain't making sense.
Yeah, something.
Oh, no, that's dope. Now, I see how you answered the question in the beginning, because you was like, my terminology of, you know, first confirmation. Now, what would be your terminology?
No, the terminology I was referring to was, you said something about the music industry.
Okay.
The music industry, like, okay. What I meant by that was, all I did was try to get accolades in the music industry, where as I got older, I realized it doesn't mean shit. Like, it's your worth, what you put into it, what you gain from it, what you want from it. Not saying don't strive in a certain industry to get to the position you want, but I was looking for like validation from these industry dudes, like dudes I didn't even respect their values, but I wanted validation from them. So that's what didn't make sense to me. Like, that was my conflict. Like, basically, I remember, like, I don't wear jewelry, right? I got a couple nice watches, but when I say nice, I'm talking about like Bape watches or the D and Ricky G-Shock collab, or like just shit I like, that I wear colorful shit for fashion. I don't wear jewelry. I don't wear wild expensive clothes. But I remember when I first got a good paycheck, I went and bought a chain. And I was in the Tunnel nightclub in New York City in the late 90s with a 360 chain, because a 360 is a cipher. And I look back at those pictures and be like, why the fuck did I have a chain on? Like, it's not me. I love people that rock. I see you got a chain on. I love people that rock chains when it's them. But I was trying to wear their shit, not my shit. My shit was, I like being in the Tunnel with a raucous t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in the street hood ghetto nightclub, but you can see I'm a backpack, raucous, or fat beats. Do you know what I mean? That was my shit. And that's who I should have maintained, like stayed. So yeah, I try to dress like the people I was with, and it wasn't me. And I always had that conflict.
So as we going along this path, what are some of the highs and lows that you're willing to discuss from your career? I want to start off with the highs.
Highs, oh, so many highs, man. We could go on forever and ever.
Give me two of your
worked with I'll give you a list, and then you can tell me which ones you want me to expand on. Like, I worked for Pharrell. I worked with Jay-Z. I worked with Jay-Z like 3 different times. I got my own show on Hot 97. I had 3 shows on Hot 97 that were technically my own, but also at Hot 97, I was the #1 fill-in, right? So anybody that called out sick, whether it be a DJ or air personality, I could fill in. Not many people could do both. Like, if DJ Enough was sick, they could call me. But if Angie Martinez was sick, they could also call me. So some people were either air personality or a DJ. I could do both. I had my own show. I started Shade 45 on Sirius. At the time, it was just Sirius. Now it's Sirius XM. I gave Angela Yee her first job. Now she's a superstar. One of the biggest things and the biggest accomplishments that people always talk about is I broke Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never say I made Rihanna or discovered Rihanna, because Rihanna is Rihanna. and there was a lot of people who helped her career. But no one in the world could ever say they played Rihanna before me. No one. Like she personally handed me a single, which was technically a demo, and I played it on the radio. Like no one can say that, you know?
Damn, did you have to face any scrutiny for playing someone that at that point was unknown?
No, not at that time. At that time, we were known to break music. We were trendsetters. I mean, mind you, you can't just play 10 new songs in a row. You have to face scrutiny from your boss because we are supposed to be playing hit music. But if you know how to break music, you weave it in. You play, like Rihanna was Caribbean, so I do like a reggae set, then I play Pon the Replay, and then go into R&B. So like that's you got to know how to weave it in. Rick Ross, I did the same. Rick Ross, I broke. Now I wasn't the first one to play because they were playing it in Miami, but I was the first one to bring it to New York and got him the deal I called personally Jay-Z to get him at least a meeting. You know what I'm saying? And it ended up getting him a deal. But yeah, I've done tons of shit.
No, those are all incredible highs. Now, and you also took away from my next damn question, but that's what I get for asking such a broad question. But then again, it's so important to hear the organicness of what everyone feels is their high. Because some people will be like, just the reaction is my high in this. But it's like, it's so important, the intricate elements that make you feel, that you've definitely done something. You left something, an imprint that's going to last more than just today, tomorrow. You're talking about pivotal things. I mean, to this day, we're still going crazy over Rihanna, Rick Ross.
Global superstar, yeah.
I mean, shoot, I also got Sean Paul and 50 Cent and Pitbull. I know that they also were broke by you. And it's like, that's something that's incredible because you're giving, like, you hold the gates to certain things. And especially at this era, everybody was on radio, listening to radio. There was no playlist. There was no Spotify, nothing. Everything
radio and mixtapes.
Yes. Well, shit, even before mixtapes, it was just strictly radio or what
that's true,
on TV. And, during that time, you guys, specifically New York, LA, and Atlanta, like no matter what people can say, were a big pivotal role in breaking people from the South to the East to the West. And, it's an honor just to have radio royalty, just, be able to discuss this because it's it takes so much to go into that. And I'm just going to ask, what signatures or it factors you look for when you go into breaking artists, especially during that time?
I mean, my shit was always the music first, where a lot of times, like, how like 50 made a big impact because his story was so crazy, right? He got shot 9 times, he lived, he got dropped while he was in the hospital bed. That was his story. Now, I personally don't care about the story that much if the music is whack. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like sometimes the story is bigger than the music. And people are into that. I personally am not. Me personally, I'm into the music. Not to say, I mean, I love 50 and the story is incredible, but it wouldn't make me want to play it just because he got, like, I know a lot of people that got shot. They don't, but they're not doing too well. But so yeah, so the music was always the thing with me. So like Rick Ross, I love the song, I love the energy. Rihanna, same thing. I heard the song and I was like, wow, this chick is really dope. And she was really cool. Sean Paul is an example. Like Sean Paul was already popping when I met him in the reggae scene, in the dancehall scene, which is big in New York. And what's funny is that the Latino market in New York loves reggae, but they don't necessarily go to Jamaican parties. Latinos play their own. It's still Caribbean. So Puerto Ricans and Dominicans love reggae, but they wouldn't necessarily go to a Jamaican party. So they kind of have their own little Spanish reggae scene. Not the lyrics, this is where Spanish reggae and reggaeton came from. But before that, they just loved reggae. So like I'd be in a Spanish club and Sean Paul would be performing or his songs would be playing. And I'm like, why is he not bigger? Like he should be big. Like he was already big in his world, but I was like, you should come to this world. You know, Pitbull was a guy who, oh, see, now I'm contradicting myself because Pitbull he was such a great person. His music wasn't mind-blowing. It was good, but it wasn't mind-blowing. Like he wasn't my favorite rapper. He was just such a good person. But nobody works harder than Pitbull. Like I knew that back then. Oh, you know what it was? I had a record out with that group Nina Sky, and we had a reggae sample, and Pitbull had the same reggae sample, and our records were competing in the charts. Like he'd be going up, we'd be going up. We won. Eventually, we got to #1 because we had two cute girls singing a poppy song. You know what I mean? His song was about shaking ass. So at one point, the radio station's gonna be like, "Well, this kind of dirty. Let's play these two girls." And we went to #1, and he, you know, we've met each other. He was like, "Yo, you beat me, but you're never gonna beat me again." And I was like, "All right, let's go." And then we just had like this friendly competition, and he won. But yeah, it's like, but he had some dope song. And also I was friends with Little John. He came out through Little John. So anyway, my whole point is like the music is #1. And then if you see someone that has the potential where you think they're going to work super hard, that's another thing. To be successful, you got to look out for that kind of stuff. Like I signed an artist named Cuckoo Cal out of Milwaukee, and he had a #1 rap record, but he had a lot of issues and he didn't work hard to turn his single into an album, into a successful career, you know?
So I know we didn't get to go too much into it, but that sounds like a low within itself, you know, discovering and making something big and putting all the effort and energy, and then, you know, it has its own fallout.
Yeah, my lows were like not getting a piece of Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? Like not getting my percentage. Same thing with Ross. My lows were like, I always say I'm too nice of a person, and I do nice things for people, but that doesn't mean they're gonna do nice things for you. So the low was when I realized this shit is a business and you gotta handle your business. Also, one of my biggest lows is the way I left Hot 97. I was there for 17 years, gave my blood, sweat, and tears. Some new boss comes in towards the end of my career and was like, you know, on paper, he's like, well, if we have to cut some people, well, what does this guy do? And I'm like, what do? I did fucking everything here. I put this station on my back. I wouldn't even DJ in nightclubs where I didn't think the customers of that nightclub were Hot 97 listeners, because what's the point of me DJing for some other people? I only want to DJ for our listeners. So I pigeonholed myself into that market, and I did it for the station. And then I got let go. I quit, but it looks like I got let go because before I said I quit, they put out a statement saying Cipha Sounds no longer is employed by MS Broadcasting, like a very cold statement. So it looks like I got fired, even though if I did get fired, I don't care. I'm just saying I didn't. But I realized I was just an employee number on a piece of paper or on a computer screen,
On a
like
paper list.
on whatever accountant was doing the math, my number came up for whatever reason. And that was a low point for me. Like, how could you give everything to something and it literally just shoo you away? So that's when I had to, like, you know, that was a lesson I had to really learn.
You know, and what's amazing from all that is that, you know, you reinvented yourself so many different ways. Like, you definitely have been a spokesperson when it comes to someone that has 7 streams of income, just making a difference with so many different hats and influences, and recognizing, hey, I do this, I'm already doing this. There's a role here that I'm doing that I'm already doing. I might as well capitalize on it. It took a while for you to transition and transfer that heat. But you know, I just got to give all my hats off to you because, bro, you definitely have influenced me greatly. And so,
Thank you,
my
man.
question to you is, how much of your job is preparation and rehearsing for what you're doing?
For comedy?
For everything, because you brought
Oh,
comedy from DJing to, I mean, bro, because all these different hats, you're invested. You're a master. You're an outlier. 10,000 hours into each of these fields in order
Oh,
for you
for
to put out
sure.
how
It's
you
funny.
feel.
I just read that. Well, I bought the audio book.
You too.
Yeah, that the reason why it's hard for me to answer your question in a certain way is because I love it so much that it doesn't even feel like work. So that's the main thing I tell people. Like, I don't, I like that guy Gary V. You know Gary V. And then, like, I like what he says a lot because a lot of it hit me hard. Like, you could go and get a great job and just be unhappy, but be making tons of money. I never ever wanted that. I don't want to be unhappy. I don't like the feeling. I don't like the gut feeling you get when you're doing something that you don't really love just for money. And I've done it many times. You know what I'm saying? I've taken gigs, corporate gigs, where I'm like, this is going to be so boring and so whack, but the check is so good. You know, I got to feed my family. I got to, this is what the whole reason why you're here is to make money. So I've really, really dedicated myself to not doing things I don't love doing. And I put in hours and hours and hours and hours of work, but it never felt like work. I don't ever feel like I was like stuck in a sweatshop somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, my hours of DJing was like DJing, like people dancing, having fun, like partying. And there's really like the prep work is like when I DJ'd the nightclub, the Tunnel nightclub, which was very rough. Like, it was like a boot camp for DJing. If you could rip the Tunnel, you can rip anywhere. That's how I thought about it. You know what I'm saying? So I take things that are hard to learn from it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take gigs that are hard or things that are not necessarily like the most fun just so I can learn something from it.
Yeah, no, I feel you, because a challenge is not anything unless it's actually something you feel the challenge in. You're passionate, it's gonna drive you to overcome and make the greatest of it. And you get the art of war in you sometimes where you like, okay, I gotta sacrifice some things so I can really make this shit really shine.
Yeah.
And it definitely shows. It 100% shows.
You know who David Goggins is?
I do not.
David Goggins is this dude. He got a book out. I think it's called You Can't Hurt Me. This dude is like this ill Navy SEAL. He went to Navy SEAL training 3 times for whatever reason. And he's like this crazy, like, ultra runner where he runs like these 100-mile races and all this shit. Yo, this dude, he got me through COVID and Corona because you just follow him. Just look up David Goggins on YouTube and you'll see these, like, YouTube makes these, some company makes these inspirational videos, you know what I'm saying? It's like a guy talking and there's this like drama music behind it, like gong gong, gong gong. But he is the illest dude, and he's all about putting yourself in the wildest situations so that when you meet this situation in real life, there's no way it's going to be as bad as what you trained for. It's the proverb of lift 500 so you can lift 50. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yesterday I took a freezing cold shower just because it's just something to just change up your norm. You know what I mean? Like,
game up, shit.
Change it up. Go walk a different route, try a different tactic, go a different way, stay longer, get up earlier, like just constantly put yourself into what we call bad situations, but they're not bad. They just, lessons.
They challenge
And
you,
like
bro.
unknown. Yeah, go into the unknown.
Because it's sort of, now here you go again. It's like you almost have my damn phone and all my notes, and you have not seen shit I wrote down. And I want to ask you about running, because I've noticed that you became way more passionate about running. And, It sounds like you gave me the secret, but I'm still going to ask, what's the secret?
Yeah. For me, so I had a little weight issue. Well, not a little. I had a big weight issue for a long time. And I always used to say, because it's really all about eating, right? So I used to say, if I could just, I was so busy traveling all the time, working, comedy, DJing, everything. If I could just get like a month in like a cabin in Vermont where I eat right every day and no distractions, I would lose this weight. But I can't because I'm traveling, I'm doing shows. When you go on the road, I eat like shit. If I could just get into a cabin for a month, I know I would get on the right path. Well, the world turned into a cabin for the month. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
The world literally shut down. Like, hey, every club you do comedy at, close. Every nightclub you DJ at, close. So what you gonna do? So I couldn't make excuses anymore. So there's a comedian named Michelle Wolf. She's like one of these expert runners. She gave me a program, and it's like the simplest, easiest way to get started.
Yeah, I see the fuck Michelle Wolf all the time.
Oh, and fuck Michelle Wolf. I hate Michelle Wolf. She tried to kill me. She put me on this program, and I literally would walk for 5 minutes and run for 1 minute for 30 minutes. And then a week later, I would walk for 4 minutes and run for 2 minutes, and just kept building it up. But because she put me on a program that was very easy to start, it got me going, which reminded me, you can't start at the top. You can't build a wall from the top. You got to put that one brick down on the bottom, on the ground. You know what I mean? You ever seen that Will Smith thing where he said his father told him to build a brick wall? His father said, build a brick wall. He goes, him and his brother, we have no idea how to build a wall. And he goes, just lay down one brick perfectly. And then next to that brick, lay another brick perfectly. And don't go to the next brick until you know that brick is perfect. And eventually you'll have a wall. So he literally like put a brick, put the whatever the shit in between a brick is, that mortar. Yeah. And then just built it took him like a year, but him and his brother built a brick wall. And he's just like, just lay that brick perfect. So I went out and ran, and then did it again the next day, getting better. And just now I'm like, okay, now I'm not trying to be a marathon runner. I just want to be healthy. So now I go out and I run like it's nothing now. I mean, I just put I used to dread it. Oh, I got to try to work out. I put on my shorts, put on my sneakers, and go for a run. It's like relaxing.
They got celebrity basketball tournaments and shit. You should have a celebrity cross country event. I'll outrun any of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, but I'm only trying to go 3 miles, yo. I don't know what a celebrity 3 mile run would be.
Hey, well, that's actually like a cross country route. It's 3 miles.
Yeah.
So you got it. You got the formula.
But then what I would do was, is this all right? Am I boring everybody?
Yo,
this
no.
Pretty good, right? I took all these David Goggin interviews off the internet, off YouTube. I mean, we've had nothing but time recently, like especially when COVID first started, we was all just like in the house, like, what the fuck is going on? So I just went on YouTube late at night and downloaded all these David Goggins interviews, and I would chop them up into like 2 minute or 3 minute segments. And I just mixed them in to my running playlist.
Wow.
So I would be like, and I run to like a lot of 90s hip hop, or I run to a lot of upbeat soca and dance hall because it just gives you that little energy. And Migos, running the Migos, them niggas will have you going, yo. They like, caught in the trap, caught in the trap. You start running, you gonna sell coke the moment you finish.
Come on.
And then so like a Migos song, a 90s hip hop song, a dance hall song because it like fast paced energy, and then all of a sudden this guy starts talking to you, be like, don't quit, don't give up, keep going. You know, a lot of people ain't supposed to be here, but you ain't one of them. So you get that little boost of like energy, and then it'll go back to a song. Because I don't want to listen to a 20-minute motivational thing. I just put it in as like spice.
No, that's crazy. That's like the workout mixtape that you're creating.
Yo, dope.
Splashes of influence in there, but the rest to get you through.
Then there's like if you put like motivation on YouTube, you'll see like Denzel giving like a graduation speech, and you'll see like Will Smith interviews. You'll hear there's this one, I don't know his name, but he's a coach. He's dope too. He got an ill voice. But then I also have like a minute of Farrakhan in there. You know what I'm saying? A minute of Malcolm in there. And it just be like, I remember when the George Floyd shit happened, I ran the longest I ever ran. So I was so angry. I ran over 6 miles. That's the longest I ever ran in my life. And I ran over 6 miles because I had so much anger. I was like, I'm not running for fun. The war's about to start. You know what I'm saying? I got to get in shape for this war. So you got to just find, obviously now, you know, my logical brain comes back into sense and be like, money's going to win the war. Like unless we take arms and like really fight in the front lines. But yeah, all that motivation shit is just, you got to find little things that you like and find ways to sprinkle them in.
Man, now, Cipha, I got to let you know, the common denominator of my show is success. And, you know, throughout, you've been able to talk about it. And, you know, there's a lot of people from poverty-stricken neighborhoods with limited resources and opportunities to make their passion, gift, and dreams come true, or just not in the plan sometimes. And, you know, it takes like some people to get a hand touch, push. Other people, it takes a group of people to help them push. And then you got the other groups of people that fall with other groups that fall out of that. And, you know, I've been a victim of it, and I became afraid of success. And, you know, there becomes moments where I have to push myself, or other people that let me know what I'm doing as a confirmation so that I can push to that bridge and make something happen. And, you know, you're a big, big part of everything I'm doing because you have been that push. You found reasons to keep on climbing that bridge to get across instead of an excuse to fall back. Yeah. So I want to make sure I told you that.
Yeah, that's a big part of my life, man. I heard a quote once. I don't remember who said it. The quote was, it's not our fault that we got pushed to the ground. It's our fault that we don't get back up. And that always sticks with me. Like, I got so many obstacles. You know what I mean? I'm a person of color. Luckily, I live in New York, so but it's still an obstacle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm from the Bronx, from the gutter. You know what I'm saying? And you know, my family is drug addicts, and both my uncle and my father died young, poverty stricken. Like, I was never like dirt poor where I was like almost homeless, but like, because my mom always used to be like, stop saying you're dirt poor when you grew up. I was like, we were poor. Like, we weren't like destitute, but we lived in the, you know what I mean, in the hood.
But, you know, parents, when they see it, they see they're doing everything they can. So, you know, when we talk about what we go through, reality versus what they were able to do, sometimes it's like, oh, you got a chip on your shoulder, but stop talking about it. And, you know, at the end of the day, it allowed us to be who we are today.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But like, I feel bad for people that feels lost and desperate in those situations where they feel like there's no way out. I wish I try to help as many as I can. I wish I could help more, but like, I'm telling you, like, this country we live in is fucked up. But the fucked up thing about this country is that money wins. So like, if you can get to the money, you will make it. Now, what you do with that, you know, a lot of people don't give back and then they start feeling empty and worthless even when they're rich. But what I'm saying is that a horrible thing about this country is that the greedy people win. So what I mean by that is like, you can get out of the situation you're in if you can prove that you're of value to a greedy person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like parts of Africa or like, you know, parts of the world where you can't even get clean water. Like we not, I mean, except for Michigan, but we not at that part. Like niggas in the hood got the internet. You know what I mean? Like you live in the projects, but you got an iPhone. Like if you're not spending an hour a day on your iPhone researching how to get out of the hood, you're fucking up. You literally have the tool in your pocket, right? That's my only thing. Like, but I understand the system is made to keep us down. The system is made to brainwash us and make us feel worthless. I understand the trauma that we have been, you know, has been put upon us. But I do get upset, like, but also, nigga, if you live in Marcy Projects and you not following the Jay-Z code, what the fuck are you doing?
He didn't make a blueprint for nothing.
He made the blueprint.
Come on.
Like, if I don't agree with just slanging dope to kill everybody in the community, but also like you can listen to 1-900 Hustler. The answer is in the song. You know what I mean? Now, God, you know, I don't want nobody to get killed or hurt or nothing, but it's fucked up. But I'm just saying the answers are there.
Yeah, come on. And I mean, the number one thing is staying consistent, staying on the path, stay the course.
It is, but when you said something about being scared of success, though, it is scary. Like, you get to a certain level and there's nobody like us, or like few and far between. It is lonely.
Yeah.
It is lonely. It is scary. But
I mean, my brother, I don't know if you can see, but back there, I made in high school, I was front page Sunday newspaper because I graduated with straight A's and I was homeless. I was living from friend to friend, captain of the football team, captain wrestling team, did drama, all the shit. And like, I didn't allow people to know what was going on except for the people that had me in their home. And you know, you don't allow the excuse of, I mean, that's just what brought it to me. You grow up in the streets, you like, man, fuck that. You see how this person moves and how he moves. It's going to influence you to move certain ways, but it's like, I ain't finna do what he just did, but I'm going to learn from him. And, you know, it continues to rub off on you. And, you know, I didn't allow people to see what was real in my life, except for what they could see as accomplishments. And, you know, as you get drawn through the dirt, you got to make sure you got to keep a trail so that you can remember where you come from.
Yeah, but also that is also a factor where you don't tell people the things that are wrong. Well, you don't know this because you're young. We're all young and we're all in the system. But I like to tell people where I fucked up also because that also helps and inspires. You know what I mean?
Come on, bro. I've been arrested at 17. 1 month after that came out, we hit a lick. We did a robbery. We stick up kids and we got arrested for it. And it's like, you know, it's like telling people you got straight A's, made front page of Sunday newspaper, and you sitting yourself in juvenile hall on your way to college. Like, am I going to go? They going to send me to YA, youth authorities? Or am I going to go to college? And
wait, how old are you now?
I'm 32.
How dumb was your robbery at 17? Looking back at it now.
Bruh, I worked for the senator. I was a part-time lifeguard, and I had a job working at the fucking oil refinery. I had 3 jobs, and I got out and robbed somebody for a fucking iPod. And my scholar, man, I had so many scholarships. It was the dumbest thing I could have ever do. Keep it 100. But in my mind, I was perfect student, everything. And that night I was in the streets because that's what I, you know, became comfortable with. I had no parents, and my father died when I was 4. And so, like, you know, my mom, you know, she got her own thing, and I love my mother, but, You know, at the end of the day, we
Yeah.
had to survive another way where people gave us attention. We flew to.
Yeah.
And shit,
Or iPod. Oh man.
swear to God, in the bed of a truck, popping out, boom. And we got pulled over like maybe 8 minutes later. And yeah, bro, to this day, I think about that shit. Because if we do something, I never try to do anything ever again. I'm a husband and got kids. None of that gangster shit's important to me except for getting home. Like, you get in my way of getting home, you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
But past that, that's all that matters. But back then, that was just a way of moving. You thought everything was some cred.
Yeah, but now I think back like, okay, hop out, hide the iPod somewhere, come get it tomorrow. Or, you know what I mean? Like, we were dumb back then. Now it's like, why did I think somebody wouldn't call the cops on me? Like,
Bro, we went for it to try to find someone else. That's why we got caught. We couldn't just be happy with the first come up. No, we had to keep on driving in.
yep.
Shit, police gonna see somebody in the bed of a little S10.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But you know, you live, you grow, and you could hear it from myself. Like, me and my folks, like all of us that sat down because of it. It was dumb. It's not, you know, we regret it, but it also helped us understand we were not invincible.
Yeah.
And that
True.
was the biggest thing to learn.
True.
As we talking about it, I gotta ask you, you know, it's my awareness segment. I'm talking about police interaction. When was the last time you were pulled over? And what's some advice you can give to someone in the situation of being pulled over?
This is my shit right here.
Come on.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, people. This is my train of thought. This is my philosophy. You don't have to follow it. You can do whatever you want. I believe in my heart, we are not going to win the war at the traffic stop.
Facts.
You are not going to win the war at the traffic stop. The traffic stop is the most dangerous, life-changing situation and moment you could deal with. Now, I'm not saying let cops get away with foul behavior. I'm saying you're not going to check them and win the war at that stop. So when I get pulled over by the cops, when I tell you I'm a model citizen, what I do is I turn off my car. This is fucked up. This is a fucked up mentality, but I am alive to tell you what I do now. You understand what I'm saying?
It's embedded.
I turn off the car. I put the keys on the dash. I roll down all the windows and I turn on all the lights in my car and I have my hands, both of them, on the steering wheel. And I don't mouth off. Here's what I'm saying. I understand some cops be power tripping. I understand some cops be flexing in that moment. I understand cops give you an attitude sometimes. Not all. I've dealt with cops who are very nice. I've dealt with cops who recognize me and let me go right away, which is also fucked up. Like, because I'm somewhat of a celebrity, I get to just do whatever. I also don't agree with that. But what I'm saying is, when they come up to the window and I also don't have anything illegal in my car. I tell people when they get into my car, I mean, I don't really roll with these kind of people anymore, but when I did, I say, yo, if you got drugs or guns on you, I am going to tell. Like, don't bring that shit in my car. I'm not going to jail for you. So you got weed on you, you probably shouldn't ride with me, right? You get pulled over by the cops. The cops say license registration. I say, officer, my registration's in the middle compartment. Can I grab it? I grab it with my left hand. I hand it to them. The lights are on. They look in the car. There's nothing to see. My point is, a lot of times I don't get tickets because I'm already showing an amount of respect. And I also respect that man's job where you don't understand somebody walking into what they feel is a dangerous situation 100 times a night. That fucks with your brain. Now, I'm not his friend. I can't have a beer with him and talk to him about his life. I got to stay alive in that moment. Not just stay alive. I don't want to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a jail cat. I won't do well. I'll be holding somebody's pockets like, yes, sir. I won't do well. But I don't want to go to jail and I don't want to die. Now, if the cop does some foul shit, I will then seek appropriate action after the traffic stop. You see all these, like the George Floyd shit, that's a whole nother situation. That shit was crazy because, you know, the cop knew George Floyd. They worked together as bouncers, and that's some other shit. But I'm just saying, we hear all these situations of like, yo, if I'm in a car with a friend and my friend starts mouthing off, I tell them, shut the fuck up. Like, when you're in your car, you could do what you want. You're not fucking up my shit. The cop is in the wrong. I was in a 7-Eleven. The cop was in the suburbs. The cop was in the 7-Eleven with us, looking at us funny style, goes out to his car, waits for us to leave, pulls us over right outside the 7-Eleven. He was waiting for us. He's in the wrong. I could make a complaint about that. But if I start mouthing off and he reaches for his gun or he calls for backup, then where am I? So my whole shit is, I want justice. I want reform. I want things to change. But I just feel you can't win in that moment where they're nervous. Once they call for backup, that means something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? In their minds, in their group setting, in their training. Why is he calling for? It's called backup. You know what I'm saying? Like, come back me up. Something's wrong here.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying. So like, I want to live to sue and take someone to court. I don't want marches with my name on a sign.
You know, a big portion of why I call this my awareness segment is because knowledge is power, but when you use that knowledge, it's a superpower. And it will get you out of situations. You said so many key elements on one, to make a cop comfortable. Two, you express the amount of the urgency to get out the situation. Go through it as quickly as you can. And one thing I will add, because, you know, we've had some OGs and gangsters on the show. They say, take me to jail. I'm on live. I got my phone on live. Take me to jail.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you charge me. Not going to do the paperwork. I'll be released in 30 minutes to an hour. OR. Yeah. And so, you know,
I respect that attitude. I don't even want to go to booking. I respect it, though.
Fuck a mugshot.
Yeah, I respect it. But yeah, also they're 100. Like, if you're willing to go to jail, that's way better than getting shot and killed by your car. 100%. Like, take me to jail. But the fighting with the cops and that late night at a traffic stop, like, how can you win?
Bruh, I gotta tell you, I wrestled. Like, you know, I'm in California wrestling. I don't know. I know it's pretty big on the East Coast, but out here wrestling, folk style, all the shit is like, you know, warrior shit. Yeah. There's a few cops where I live. I wrestled and beat the brakes off them.
Yeah.
And so I think in the back of my mind, every time, I hope these motherfuckers don't pull me over and try and get revenge on me. I snap kneecaps and elbows, all type of shit. And
crazy.
The beautiful blessing in disguise, you have friends with other people that become higher ranking officials, and you still have that, oh, nah, I want to see your superior.
Yeah.
And shit, make sure the body cam is on.
Yeah. But my thing is, I love the hood, man. I love OGs. I love gangs. I love the whole system we have. But like, the attitude at that moment is not gonna help. You're not gonna win in a battle, you're not gonna win in a power struggle at that moment. In that moment, they have the power. Unfortunately, they have the power to kill. Like, I don't want my daughter or I don't want my kids to be raised without a father. So I make a conscious decision to like, I know a lot of dudes like, fuck that. They pulling you over for no reason. You shouldn't have to roll down your windows and turn off your car. You're right. You're right. We shouldn't have to. You're 100% right. Hopefully one day we won't. But I've made a decision that I want to be okay in this moment.
Come on, what's reality? What's real versus reality? Yeah, it'd be nice if we could just, in a friendly world of, oh, you pulled me over for this, yeah, you got me. Versus
Yeah.
the reality is these motherfuckers is taunting people because they have a fucking reason to in their mind. They're just curious, so they're gonna become George in every situation.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take a pause on my awareness segment because I feel like we go back and forth on this shit for days. Because it's so important, the testimonies of awareness, because as I said, knowledge is power. But I'm gonna transition. I got this next thing called Trading Places, and I think you're gonna enjoy the hell out of this.
Okay.
And just like that old school movie, Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy swapping places, and I take that spin, and we take two iconic lives and we swap them and talk about it.
Okay.
And for you, I got Dave Chappelle trading places with Donald Trump.
Okay, how does this work again?
So
they swap,
and we talk.
What happens?
So question number one is, will it work? Can you see Dave Chappelle and Donald Trump trading places?
Dave Chappelle as president, 1,000,000% yes. Dave Chappelle as president, Dave Chappelle, that dude, I'm blessed that I can actually call him a good friend of mine, but just him alone, his philosophies on life, his theories, his concepts, his outlook and perspective is so ill. He's got ways that he thinks he could fix problems that actually I think would work. You know what I'm saying? And as a president, he would be phenomenal. Is the country ready for something like that? Who knows? Doubt it. But Trump switching places with Dave Chappelle.
Can you see Trump as the comedian and keep it real type of person?
Not. Here's what I'm saying about Trump. The reason why he wouldn't be a flop is because he knows how to stand in front of a crowd and entertain. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to rock the mic is what I'm saying. That's what he does.
So you see Donald Trump in Half Baked. True or false?
No. That he couldn't do. If I'm thinking of Donald Trump, no. He cannot act or be, he wouldn't be able to give himself, you have to give up yourself to be a actor or entertainer like that. He's too much into himself.
I could see Dave Chappelle as a conglomerate, huge businessman, real estate mogul, just everything. I could see everything named Chappelle Towers. I could see that.
He already, the town he lives in, he owns a lot of real estate there. It's like, it's not New York City Trump Tower, but we was hanging out in his town because he's doing these shows all summer long.
Dope.
And he's like, yeah, I own that building. I'm like, yo, who the fuck are you? Yo, you're the real estate tycoon of whatever town, Ohio this is,
right.
Dayton, Ohio.
No, that's incredible. So no, you know what? As oddly as it sounds, I can actually see this working, but I can't see Donald Trump really living the life of Dave Chappelle. I can't see Donald Trump, leaving America because he doesn't want to sign a $50 or however $1 million deal.
No.
Donald Trump
that part
sat there and dealt with it. Oh, this is what you want me to do?
Yeah. No, that part. Yeah, he would definitely do all the shit that Dave walked away from. He would have been like, oh, you want me to act like a coon? Yeah, sure. I'm ready.
God damn. Yep. So fair enough. I can see both sides, and I agree with you. I agree. So I'm gonna transition out of that to my impulse Q&A, and these are fan perspective type of questions.
Oh, I ain't got no fans. These are your fans.
All right, to be honest, it's actually the way I think, so you just got to deal with it. But the thing is that you got to answer 3 questions, and if you don't like the question, it's all good. You could pass. I got more from where it comes from.
Okay.
If you were trapped on an elevator for 5 hours, what song would you be playing to get you through?
You can only play one song? Trapped on a. It's not a joke. So when people ask me what's your favorite song or what's your favorite, I determine what a favorite song is by how many times I could listen to it and not get tired of it. My favorite song of all time is Elevators by Outkast. No bullshit. Like, you could play that song. Like, if it plays, I've never listened to that song once unless it's on the radio. I can't listen to it once. I always have to rewind it. It's just something about when that shit comes in, I always have to play it again. So that would be my song that I would play over and over. I like a lot of other songs, but I couldn't listen to them over and over like that. So Elevators, Outkast, which is ironic for this situation.
Being trapped on the elevator. I'm
Yeah,
listening to Elevators.
It's usually like Desert Island, but an elevator is like, oh, well, I'd listen to Elevators.
Yeah, you know, that's comedy. That's comedy. Siri or what's the other one? Alexa, play Elevators because I'm trapped on the elevator. Question number 2. What is one food you recommend everyone tries at least once?
One food you try at least once. I would say, I'm trying to think of a New York, like it's just very simple, but I notice that around the country they don't have. In New York, we have bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll, which sounds simple, but like you go to other cities and states, and it's not a common thing to ask for. But in New York, you go to any bodega, any deli, and you just say bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll, and they do something to it that is the best, is literally the best breakfast ever. But it's a simple thing.
But hold on, when you say on a roll, you talking about like on a biscuit, on
You
like
see what I'm saying?
I'm confused.
You see what I'm saying? That's what in New York, that's a common phrase. Like, I don't eat pork, so I say turkey, bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll. A roll is it's bread. I don't know why people don't know what a roll is. Like a Kaiser roll. Like,
you know what's so funny? As much as I don't know what the roll is, the hardest part is trying to explain what somebody doesn't know that's simple.
It's so simple. A roll is just it's a bread.
Oh, I got you.
It's like a bun. The closest thing would be a Wendy's bun. The way Wendy's makes their burger buns, it's almost like a roll. But in New York, a roll is it's a common thing.
Yeah, no, now I'm lost. Now I gotta go in and ask about this shit. Cause you said it's
so
like
you don't have rolls,
but
you don't have rolls.
It's not a burger, but it's like a sandwich, but it's not a sandwich, it's a roll.
A roll, yeah. What do you put your sandwich on?
On bread or sub. I got your hoagie.
Okay, a roll is a sub bread, but round. Like we call that a hero, right? So you go in the store, you be like, yo, I want a turkey and cheese on a hero, or I want a turkey and cheese on a roll. The hero is the long bread, right? So imagine the long bread you get with a sandwich, but like as the shape of a burger bun.
Okay.
Which is the most commonest thing here, and you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Hey, I just learned it. And you know what? I didn't even have to read the book for dummies. I just had to listen to somebody break it down to me. I felt like a dummy.
Egg and cheese on a roll, man.
Egg and cheese on a roll. Must try shit.
New York version.
Yes. Question number 3. And hopefully I don't go through this same problem like I did on question number 2. Give me a wildest animal name you could think of and call that bitch over here.
Wait, a wild animal name?
And call him over here.
You mean make up a type of animal or something you would name an animal?
Something you would name an animal. Dog, cat, bird, whatever you want, and then call it over here. So I want to hear you call him over here so I could believe that you would really call him that.
I know exactly what it is. I hate animals. So I don't The reason why it hasn't come true yet is because I hate animals, but I would be like, yo, Sinatra, get over here. Sinatra, here, now.
Fair enough.
Sinatra's my hero. Or one
Okay.
of them. I have many heroes, but one of my heroes.
No, that's the guy. That's Mr. Blue Eyes. So, man, you survived my awareness segment. You survived my trading places segment. You even survived my impulse Q&A. It educated me like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
So as a reward, it's promote time. I know you're always working, so let's promote what you're working on, what you're excited about coming out. Talk to the viewers. Let them know.
Here's the deal. I'm going to have to do this podcast again in about 6 months because right now there's zero work. It's the most fucked up situation. My Instagram is at Cipha Sounds. That's just basically my home base where you can find everything I'm doing. But nothing right now is even cracking. I tried to start a couple of YouTube shows and they didn't work out. I tried to, right now, if you want to follow my personal growth, that's what's popping right now. I lost 35 pounds during COVID. I've been running. I've been eating better. And I've found more time to try to slightly inspire and motivate people. So if you follow me right now, that's the type of stuff you're going to see. And, but usually you can catch me doing stand-up comedy or DJing somewhere, but it's just, shit is dead right now.
Man, no, I've seen a couple of pop-ups that you've done, which is one amazing. And I feel like I wish we could have drive-in pop-ups all the time and, you know, just make sure everyone's safe on stage type of ordeal.
Yeah, there's some comedy shows. People are doing these drive-in comedy shows, but everyone's in a car. And the thing about comedy is a relationship with the audience. You got to hear the laughter. If you don't hear the laughter, you feel like you're in a void. It doesn't feel right. The show Dave Chappelle does is in this cornfield, and it's like this pavilion, which I call an oversized gazebo, and it's sectioned off. Everybody's 6 feet apart. Everyone has to wear a mask. Everyone gets their temperature checked. All the artists, we get COVID checked. So I've been tested for COVID like 4 times already this last 2 months. But it's an amazing experience, and if you can somehow get to Yellow Springs, Ohio, and find out these shows. They're somehow affiliated with Live Nation, but I don't even know how to get tickets. I don't even know how the audience is there every week. But Yellow Springs, Ohio, Dave Chappelle's doing these shows. It is fucking amazing. It's historic.
Wow. And, as we're talking about it, I forgot to bring up one thing and give you your roses and flowers, and I feel like an asshole because I was supposed to do that before we went into all this shit. You're a dedicated dad. And, dedicated fathers on my show, I give them praises because, one, it's not easy. And two, it's a challenge to make everything, live your dreams, do something you love to do, and then come home and provide and make everything, time is spelled. Yeah. I mean, kids spell love time. They don't spell it money.
Word. That's amazing. I love that. I don't understand. No disrespect to anybody out there. You got baby mama issues. You got, whatever situation you found yourself in where a kid was created, I do not understand how you don't spend time and love your kids. You don't get along with the mom, fine. Child support's fucking you up, fine. I get all that. But how you don't be in your kid's life, I cannot understand. They are pure, innocent little angels, yo. And even when they do some wild shit, it's just like you're helping shape someone's life and the love you. Okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say because I know you gotta go. I am gonna go on a mission soon. I don't like the word love because we use love too loosely for too many things. The love I have for my kids is different than I would have for a girl or love I would have for a car. You know what I mean? Like, why are we using the same word? The love, the word, and my wife, love her to death. But the feeling is different than the love I have for my kids. And that bitch got to understand that, yo.
Come on, bro. That's a spitting image of ourselves. Like when I look at my son, my daughter, and they'll say something that's crazy or they talk shit. Say something, it's like, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife did not know that's coming from there. She would always tell me, you lied. You lied. No, you just didn't believe me. I was really with it. These kids, it shows.
For real, man. Yeah, stop being deadbeat dads, man. Be in your kids' lives.
Man,
somehow.
It's important. I mean, you could give someone 2 meaningful minutes and it could come every 3 months, every year. But those 2 meaningful minutes will mean everything to that kid.
Everything.
So just invest. Start off little, just like how he said with running and walking. Take it the same notion. 5
Same way.
1 minute running. And then say fuck Michelle Wolf while you at it. So,
oh my God, please make that a trend. Can we make that a hip hop trend? Fuck Michelle Wolf.
Why not? Man, Cipha, if you notice my show, it's different, it's unique. You know, they got guidelines and other stuff that them other guys do, and I sort of have to like go with segments because they do it, but I'm like, I'm not doing shit like them. And so I'm like, how do I keep that energy the same and close out? My viewers knows it's coming. I'm gonna hit you with it. You got any questions for me?
Nah, man, I just want to say I appreciate you reaching out. I love doing stuff like this. I love it. If one person gets any little piece of information or useful knowledge, we won. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We won, man. I feel life is great when you inspire others, and that's what I like to do. And it took me a long time to figure it out. I said this the other day. My passion is music. My passion is comedy. My purpose is to inspire and motivate. Yeah. And all those things can live together. I don't have to do one or the other. They all live together. But keep doing what you're doing, man. This is dope. Every little piece of information you get from people like me, from music people to like you say, you're talking to street dudes and gangsters, like all that shit. You take every little piece of information and use it, filter it through your life, and make yourself a better person.
Amen. Absolutely. You know, if there's potholes and there's like stuff that can have you slow down your process, and someone's willing to tell you it's there to slow down, you know, slow down. Don't break your radiator, because that's your motor that's getting you from point A, point B to changing your life.
100%.
It's Contrast Uncut. It's season 3, episode 38. Man, big shout outs to Uncle Snoop's Army and Bobby D Presents. I appreciate you, brothers. I wouldn't be able to do incredibly dope shit like interview Cipha Sounds and talk about so much history. This brother had diamonds dropping from the sky, and you know, he's a diamond in the dirt, you know, in the rough. And so from that, I have to just appreciate everything you spent on this show, brother. Thank you.
Man, thank you. See, stay safe. Hit me up. Let me know if you listen to this and if we could have lunch someday. Not you. I'm talking about the other people.
You guys, lunch. You know what? And while he does it, I'll fly to New York so I could try a roll.
A roll, man.
On a roll.
Egg and cheese on a roll.
There it is. There it is.
I don't know what rolls are. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cipha Sounds. I'm very famous in New York, and I need you to understand you're watching Contrast. What the fuck? It's a reminder for my wife's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, wife. Happy birthday.
It's the end of the month, but I got to start remembering now. All right. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, yours truly, Cipha Sounds. I'm very famous in New York. Here's the deal. Right now, you're watching Contrast Uncut. Shout out to Uncle Snoop Army. Shout out to Bobby D. Wait, why am I telling them what they're watching if they know what they're watching? Because there's words somewhere over here, right? It must say it somewhere. Yeah,
it's like dinner, but
it's somewhere. I see the words, so you know what you're watching. It's Contrast, and this drop is already a contrast because it had high energy, and then there was questions in the middle, and that's not good at all for a drop. So I'll tell you right now, you already know you're watching Contrast Uncut. Cipha Sounds. I'm out. Thank you for having me. Keep watching, keep listening, keep bootlegging it.
Yes.
projects and tell my story over beats and it could be a project. Look, how it all begun. Bum, skibbity bum. Yeah, grew up on that knobs, on that L, on that pun. Old soul when I was young. Crisscross, make 'em jump. Battle rapping for respect, my nigga. This ain't what you want. Can I kick it when I'm rhyming? Be a legend through Ebonics. Was a sticker boy. Felt like sticky fingers played at Onyx. Can I live track 8? Feel like Jigga 96. Without a reasonable doubt, the album turned me into this. Shit, we always had dreams of being money.
Man, I know you guys can't smell this right now, and I ain't talking about none of that other stuff. I'm talking about some of that good stuff, that smell good stuff. I think it's breakfast. What time is it? It's breakfast time. Make sure you tune in to Contrast Uncut no matter what you're doing. Whether you're eating breakfast, you're smelling good food like I'm smelling, or if you're smelling other stuff, we're good to watch too. Make sure you tune in. Thank you.